What's going on? God-fearing, gun-toting patriots. I love the Second Amendment. God gave it to me. Not one politician, not one government legislation can take it from me.
MAGA gang, tag, gang, MAGA gang, tag, gang, MAGA gang, tag, gang, MAGA gang, tag, gang, hey, yo, I'm a gun-toting patriot, God-fearing patriot. Bryson, why they mad? Cause I'm real and they be faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it. Gun-toting, Bible reading, God believe in truth, speaking American. It's MAGA season, Democrats committing treason. I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with. This for free thinkers only. You ain't got no membership, they free. General God out the cage, cause he innocent. Martin Roger Stone, cause the run know that he innocent. We need to kick out every single illegal immigrant. Mandatory voter ID laws, we need to implement.
What's going on? God-fearing, gun-toting patriots. I love the Second Amendment. God gave it to me. Not one politician, not one government legislation can take it from me.
MAGA gang, tag, gang, MAGA gang, tag, gang, MAGA gang, tag, gang, MAGA gang, tag, gang, hey,
Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy Otaku Cowboy back at it again with you for another video. Well, this is a live stream here. So I really want to jump right into this because we got some things that are going on currently at this exact moment that I want to make you guys aware of. So let me pull up my...
This is the 112th episode of Middle Ground, and we want you to help us decide what the next...
Sorry, it was loud. It was in my headphones. All right, so let me pull this footage up. So currently, Charlie Kirk's killer is in court for the first time, or the suspect is in court for the first time. And I really want to get this into the stream, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this up right now. All right. Let's get that on. All right, cool. It's loading. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go back a little bit so that way we can get a little bit of what's been going on. All right, so this is Utah County Jail. Let's see something. Make sure you guys can see me well. Ooh.
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance. I'm not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Scortis. I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
For indigency, but that is my intent, Mr. Scortis.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, The assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor, Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently within the last few minutes a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grunander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection.
Sorry, guys. I'm having
factor.
Sorry, guys. I'm having technical difficulties on my end right now. Trying to get that fixed for you, but I'm going to let this continue to play. If y'all are seeing any problems on my side as far as the screen goes, let me know in the chat. But yeah, I'm going to try to get that fixed and we'll continue.
Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony, in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm, and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child, aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item, to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate. Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.10 sub 2 and 76-3-203.14 sub 3A little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Gurander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
All right. I don't think they're going to be coming back on this case today. No. Yeah, no, they're not. So from what I'm gathering, that's just basically his arraignment, man. They're just talking about, they're going to tell him all of the case, all the charges that he's charged with, and what his next court date is, and whether or not he can be released on his own recognizance, which he definitely cannot because he is a political assassin at this point. So hopefully they completely cook this guy. I hate to say it like that, man, but if he's guilty, then he needs to be prosecuted to the maximum extent of the law. And so hopefully that's exactly what happens, man. I really want there to be justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I'm glad that they granted Erica a protection order because she definitely needs it. There's been a lot of hate mail coming out towards her, and as we can see on social media, all of the negative talk and oh, he deserved it, all that evilness that's been floating around the internet. So she needed that. On that topic, before we move on to the next thing, last night, me and my wife and my family, we all went out to candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk. And that was really awesome, man. It was held by the University of Louisville Turning Point chapter. And it was beautiful, man. It was very beautiful. There was prayer after prayer after prayer, patriotic songs. You know, God was definitely at the center of that. It was not just a political thing. It was very, very God-centered. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about Charlie Kirk. And that's one of the things that I wish that more people would understand about Charlie Kirk is he was not a politician. He was not a Republican figure. Charlie Kirk, his goal was to put God at the center of our government. That was his main objective, is to put God and Christian morals and values back at the center and the heart of America, because that's what our country was founded on. And so that's one thing that I love about Charlie Kirk, and that's one of the reasons that brings me to my next point. As of today, I had my interview on the 9th, but as of today, you guys are officially looking at the Louisville citywide leader of Blexit. So there's going to be more things to come as far as that. If you live in the city of Louisville and you want to get involved in the Black community and you know, waking people up from the great delusion, as I call it, and bringing them into the American dream, then reach out to me via email. It's in my profile on here. It's in my channel, and we can get in touch, maybe talk about, you know, working together on some things. But yes, I am the new citywide leader for Blexit as of today. So very exciting, very exciting. All right, so next thing on our list, man. I know I'm rolling through right now. I'm trying to catch up because I got into that live really late, and I don't want to do that. I promised you guys I would go live every single Tuesday and Thursday, and so that's what we're doing. So rolling into our next point, we have a music video that my wife told me about from a rapper, a rapper named DaBaby, where the title is "Save Me," and you know, he ain't been saved by Jesus Christ yet, but we're gonna hear him out. So, video is called "Save Me." Maybe he'll get saved. Let's hear it.
This is video surveillance of the night. Arena Zarutska enters the blue line at the East-West Boulevard station stop. You can see she takes a seat directly in front of DeCarlos Brown, the suspect. At first, nothing seems unusual, but 4 minutes later, he pulls out what appears to be a pocket knife and suddenly stabs Zaruska multiple times. Zaruska then collapses. As Brown walks to the front car, takes off his sweater, and wraps his hand before exiting the train. Police arrested him on the platform shortly after.
You think you can save me? Oh, you think you can save.
First things first, I just want to point out though, I do very much love what he did at the beginning of this video, putting that news clip in there. And that hook comes in like, that's smooth. That hook is smooth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yep.
What? Think you could say me like you got or something? I've been put up out the way, I ain't been starting nothing. I done spent a couple million on them lawyer fees. Cause when you really stand on business, it's gonna cost some money. And I looked at shit like it was normal, it was off the muscle. When I get back and start performing, it's gonna cost you double. When I stay silent in my morals, yeah, it cost me plenty. When I'm inside her, it's like water, she gon' toss me under.
Okay.
So where the lifeguard at? Cause I'm not trying to float away, I'm just trying to know your name. Every time you see him out, act like you don't know them lames. Every time I'm leaving out, I watch out 3 of my mirrors and check the cameras before I leave the house. Make sure ain't no snakes around my land, I gotta weed them out. Better stay out my face, cause I'm a man and I'll bleed you down. A man, I wanna see you smile. A man, I wanna see you strong. A man, I wanna see you down. A man to tell you come outside. A man, I wanna see you now.
Hold on, guys. I mean, I kind of like what he's doing right now so far as the like music video goes. But bro, the thing is, brother, is you are that same baby that has literally killed what 3 or 4 people at this point, like publicly, and gotten away with it. You're the same baby that's constantly preaching murder, kill, sex, drugs, all of that. And even in this song, you're the same baby that currently can't stay on topic. It's like I like what you're saying about, you know, when I give up on my morals or when I hide my morals, yada yada yada. But in the very next line, you said, "I'm a man. I'll bleed you down." You know, like, and then I don't understand what you're doing. I don't know where you're going with this, man. Are you trying to be J. Cole or are you trying to be the baby? My only concern, my only complaint is like, stay on topic, bro. Like if you're gonna do some conscious rap, you're gonna try to make a difference, to make a difference.
Right now. Yeah, like I wanna see you right motherfucker now. Man.
Hey, but it does go hard. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. As a person who only listens to gospel music these days, man, like it's scratching an itch. I can't lie. The itch is getting scratched.
Yeah. Think you can save me like you got or something. I've been ducked off out the way, I ain't been starting nothing. Cause I done spent a couple million on them lawyer fees. And spent some more on people say I never bought them nothing. They say they love you, then they act like they ain't never love you. You go through shit and yeah, you act like it ain't never nothing. That young and hurting, he need love, so you can't tell him nothing. He got that 40 in his backpack, he ain't scared of nothing. They think they know you, niggas act like you a hoe or something. Them niggas playing, you gon' blow it, you gon' show them something. Them niggas acting like you owe them, you don't owe them nothing. No 9 to 5, you rather post up at the store or something. And we can't save you. You know, and there's some people,
like
man,
that part.
Unfortunately, you know, man, we can't save them, you know what I'm saying? I might be one of them. I might be one of them niggas, you know, baby, you can't save, nigga. And I ain't looking for you to save me, and be more grateful. I'm gonna put my faith in God.
I want to pause real quick, guys, because I'm going to drop a little piece of hidden information about myself. So I was signed to a record label 2 years. And before that, I made music my whole life, man. This is not me saying, y'all go listen to my mixtape. Nah, I don't even make music anymore. But what my point with bringing that up is I can hear his vocals in this song. Those are not professionally mixed and mastered vocals. So, you know, what I'm picking up from hearing that is that his label probably did not want him dropping this song, or his label did not fully support him dropping this song, which means that he probably recorded this on his own. I'm just guessing. It's not factual. Like, I haven't researched this, but based off of the quality of his vocals and the lack of crispness, and there's a little bit of lead at the end where you can hear he'll say something and then his vocal will cut off. It sounds as though it was recorded in FL Studio with like a cheap microphone. It doesn't sound like multi-million-dollar rapper DaBaby vocal quality, which tells me that this is something that he's actually trying to do to make a difference. He probably had this, either he engineered it himself or he had someone that he knows engineer it himself. There was not like a large record label backing behind this particular song. That's all I got to say. So, you know, maybe he's being genuine, man. Maybe it's not just a clout chase, you know, a fame grab at the, you know, hop on this train, everybody's talking about this. Maybe that's not what's going on here. Maybe it is. I could be wrong, man. You know, that was my first thought whenever I heard about this video, is that, you know, he's just trying to snatch a little bit of the attention that's going on and in the news and whatnot at the moment. But, you know, I don't know. From listening to the quality of the vocals, I'm thinking maybe this is something personal to his heart that he actually spent the time and mixed and mastered himself because, you know, the label wouldn't jump on board. So let's get back to it. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta go back a little bit further.
Hey, nigga. And I ain't looking for you to say, man, and be more grateful. I'm gonna put my faith in God.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I like that. Hey, I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna let this thing end first. Yep. Whoa, hold on. Actually, my wife pointed this out to me earlier today, but I just saw it for myself, so I wanted to go back. Jonathan DaBaby Kirk. That's crazy. I mean, they probably ain't related. I mean, they might be twins. Same mom, same dad. Maybe. It's possible. But I'm joking. But seriously, though, man, his last name's Kirk. That's cool. That's pretty cool, man. Y'all. You know what? Good job. Good job, Mr. DaBaby, Mr. Jonathan DaBaby Kirk, Mr. DaBaby, Baby Jesus, big baby walking around. No, I'm just joking. That's fire, bro. I dig that. That was awesome. Okay? And I get the point. I get what he's trying to say here now. I love it. I absolutely love it. The lyrics maybe could use a little bit of, you know, let's stay on track, but that's okay. You know, some people, we all may have a little bit of ADHD in us, and we you know, we get to rambling, we come off topic, but that's all right. Okay, that's a redeemable quality. We'll take it. We'll take it, Mr. Jonathan DaBaby Kirk. All right, we will take it. John Quavius Kirk. No, seriously though, dude, what you're doing here is great, man. You got out here, you made this video. Like I said, it sounds like you probably put a lot of your own personal efforts into the production of this song. Love it, dude. It's great. And I feel like the point that he's trying to get at here is, you know, had someone been on that bus, well, there was plenty of someone's on the bus, but had someone on that bus had the courage and the concern to stand up and do the right thing, maybe this could have been avoided. Had someone on that bus stood up and been a man and stopped this grown man from murdering this young, small, frail woman, maybe she could still be alive today. You know, we don't know. Sure, you know, he got up quick, he stabbed. Maybe we wouldn't have avoided all of the stabs, but we could have stopped it. One, maybe two, maybe, you know, 3 stabs. 3 stabs is definitely survivable. I know an old lady who was stabbed multiple times in the back of her head, and she's an old lady now. Like, that happened when she was young. So it's absolutely survivable if it's stopped in time. But the problem is that nobody stood up. Nobody stood up. Nobody did what the babyless Kirk did in this music video. Okay? No one did that. All right? No one stood up and fought for justice. Because had any one of the multitude of men standing around her at that time stood up and stopped this from happening, she may still be alive today. We would be having an entirely different conversation right now. But unfortunately, we live in a society that's filled with cowards, self-centered people who can't look up off of their phone for longer than 5 seconds. I mean, literally, we live in a world where mothers don't put their phone down long enough to breastfeed their own children. We live in a society where men don't hold doors anymore, where, you know, people don't open the door for their girlfriends anymore. Men let their girlfriends pick up the check. We live in a society where husbands and wives are splitting the bills half and half, and this is mine and that's yours. So it's a no-brainer that things like this happen. And so I believe what John Quavius DeBabius Kirk is talking about in this situation, what he's saying in this situation is, had someone stood up, maybe we would not be having the same conversation. And I appreciate him, as much as I keep making fun of his name, I appreciate him for using his platform to say something that actually matters. Because too often, I used to love the baby. I mean, I'll tell you straight up. Too often do we hear rappers saying a bunch of nothing on a track. Girl, bounce that. Oh, girl, shake, give me that. Oh, hey, if he pulls up, I'm a bunch of nothing. Well, you know, it's sort of a bunch of nothing, but in reality, it's a bunch of misleading our people to go down the wrong path, an unhealthy and dangerous and destructive path. But, you know, I get it. You know, you wanna get that bread, you're trying to get that bag, so you're gonna sell out, you're gonna say what sells, you're gonna do what it takes to get those clicks and to sell out those stadiums. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, but what does it gain a man? What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? You know, maybe, Mr. DeBabius, you should do more of this. That's a suggestion. I guarantee you this song's going to go viral. I guarantee you this video is going to blow all the way up. I mean, I don't listen to the radio whatsoever, and here I am. Came across my table. So it might just be a good move for your career, brother. I don't know. What do I know? But I know it's a good move for your soul. That's for sure. Because your current path, it's not it, bro. But I like the new step in the right direction. All right, we're going to move on. So, as I said earlier, me and the family went to the candlelight vigil last night for Charlie Kirk. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Ours was very peaceful. There was absolutely no violence, no arguing. There wasn't even any protesters there. It was a great event. Everything went off without a hitch. And there was, I believe it was a senator. Honey, was that a senator? Or was that no, it was a state legislator. Can't remember the man's name. Awesome guy. But he gave a speech. You know, there was speech after speech after speech. No one got shot. There was a drone in the sky for a couple seconds, and that freaked me out. I ain't gonna lie to you. We looked up, man. Me and the wife, we're out here recording. We look up, and there's a freaking drone. Like, I crap you not, a drone right above our heads, dude. And me and her, we looked over at each other, and then I saw this other college kid who was standing next to me, because this was at the Brandeis Law School, the Brandeis School of Law. And so we're on that front line, and this dude is standing next to me with his girl or whatever. And we both looked up at the sky, and we stopped, and like, it was like a cheesy movie. We looked over at each other like we thought we were cooked. We thought we were cooked, bro. But it stayed still. It didn't do nothing. I'm pretty sure it was a police drone. So everything's all good there. But ours went off without a hitch. Everything was peaceful. There was no protesters from the opposition, anything like that. But there has been a trend of candlelight vigil showdowns, unfortunately. People showing up to throw hands, people showing up to cause problems and be very disrespectful to the legendary Charlie Kirk. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys one of these from
tonight. Pensacola's candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk turned.
I was going to introduce the video, but it played on its own. This is the Pensacola candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk. And let's get into it.
Violent when someone attempted to spray over a mural of the conservative activist. One person was seen being taken away in an ambulance. Now, despite the brawl that broke out, the vigil continued. We caught up with organizers, attendees, and law enforcement.
This was a human being. This was an American Christian father, husband, friend, and it was a senseless act.
Hundreds of people gathered at the graffiti bridge in Pensacola to honor Charlie Kirk, a conservative political activist who was killed in Utah on Wednesday.
This man went out there publicly every single day at the risk of his own life and just proclaiming the name of Christ. And that's what we're out here honoring is, you know, Charlie said that he wanted to be remembered for his faith above all else.
On the bridge, a mural in remembrance of Kirk depicting his face, birth, and death dates.
There was a fire that ignited in me the day that he passed away, and I think it's time that we just stand up in a peaceful manner and show the world that we are here to be a beacon of hope and love to others, so that they can spread that to other people as well.
The man who commissioned the mural says the violence and divisiveness in the country needs to end.
What we need to do better to stop letting people get brainwashed into thinking that everybody is horrible. Everyone's not horrible. You can be a extreme left person and still a good person. I don't dislike you. I dislike your beliefs or your policy or whatever, but it doesn't mean I have to hate you.
Despite this, before the vigil ever started, a fight broke out at the base of the bridge. Someone sprayed gold paint over Kirk's mural. That's when the peaceful scene changed in the blink of an eye. Pensacola police say someone was pepper sprayed and taken to the hospital. The person who sprayed it fled the scene before officers could get there.
We're supposed to be able to talk and get to a happy medium somewhere, right? That's America. That's the country we live in.
Yeah.
And it's only because we live in this country that we have the freedom to express ourselves. Anywhere else, they kill you. Yeah. Right? So that's why I did this.
The brawl didn't stop the vigil. Speakers prayed for the man who was pepper sprayed, for Charlie Kirk's family, and the Democratic lawmakers placed in the crosshairs of political violence back in June.
We remember, too, the life of Melissa Hortman, the Democrat that was killed in her home. We need to pray for that.
Pause. You see the difference? Listen, hey, I'm really not the biggest fan of this side, that side, yada, 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 but here's the deal. All right, we are all on the same side. We are all part of the human race, and we are all Americans. That much is for sure, right? Here is the difference, though, because there is sides. Unfortunately, there is. Let's face it. Here's the difference. On our side, they're out here, pray for the Democrat that was killed. Pray for her too. You know, pray for the person that came into our event, into a candlelight vigil, and disrespected the man who lost his life. Pray for that person too, because, you know, they got injured. That's the difference here, is that we meet with words and conversations and prayer And our whole goal is to bring Christian values back into government. But the main difference, the other side is just kill, 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 hate, they're evil, they're demons, they're this, they're that, they're racist, they're bigots, they're fascists. But we're over here saying pray for those people because they need it. We know they need prayer. I'm not trying to get worked up, man, but every time I do this, I swear, dude, I have higher blood pressure every single time. I said blood sugar like I'm out here drinking too much Kool-Aid. It's crazy. But you know what I'm saying, man. Every single time. Why do we approach things so differently than they do? I don't understand.
The Pensacola Police Department is asking anyone who saw the fight to call the police department or share information via Crime Stoppers. Now, both of the phone numbers for both of the ways to get in contact with them can be
the political relation and the way that we handle our problems. You know, we handle ours with diplomacy and words and prayers, and they handle theirs with whatever they feel like doing that day, and whatever violence they can spew. And that's okay, because like the guy was just saying, I agree with him. It's not okay. Let me take that back. But like the guy was just saying, I agree with him, man, is, you know, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person just because you're a Democrat or just because you're a liberal. That's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is there is an unfortunate trend of people on that side that are violent and aggressive. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I got something I got to take care of. I'm going to take a brief break and we'll be right back. Hey, if you guys want to see me get my own studio, dude, like, share, subscribe. I would love to have the support so that way we can get into an office or something like that. All right, so on to the next thing that we had to talk about. This one is in Tennessee. Is this Tennessee? No, this is... I don't see where this is actually at. I'm sure it'll be in the video. I like to try to come into these things without having seen it before I show it to you. So that way we can watch it together. I can give you my honest reaction. So this is another scuffle that broke out at another vigil. Oh, this one, it's right there in the title, guys. It's in Idaho. I'm silly. All right, let's get into this, man. Like that? Are you for real? I did not know Idaho got down like that. Only thing I've ever heard from Idaho was potatoes, bro. I swear. And listen, I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, if you're from Idaho, my bad. Drop a comment, explain to me why I'm wrong. But all I've ever heard from Idaho is potatoes, dog. So I did not know that they did things like that. That's crazy. It's crazy. Insane. People, go in the house. What are y'all doing? Yeah. That's how you handle that situation. Okay. All right. I don't think here. I'm gonna let the rest of this play. I don't think that there's anything else that's really going on here. Okay. All right. So it's kind of hard to make out what's going on there. So that's in Boise, Idaho. And apparently what happened, guy drives past on a bike, screams F Charlie Kirk. His name was Terry Wilson, 41-year-old man. And one of the men who confronted him, Alfonso Ayala. What? Yes, that. 51 years old. And yeah, another guy, Dylan, he tried to jump in, pull it apart, but it escalated as he was trying to de-escalate the situation. So, Mr. Terry Wilson, the original guy on the bicycle, he was arrested and charged with disturbing the peace, carrying a concealed weapon while under the influence, and possession of marijuana. So I'm assuming he was under the influence of marijuana because he was smoking weed with a gun on him. Makes sense. You can't be doing that, guys. If you love guns, if you can still carry like I do, then you absolutely want to make sure that you're staying sober while you're doing that, because it enhances anything that you're charged with. So be careful with that. All right, Alfonso Ayala. Gosh, I'm sorry, Alfonso. He was also charged, arrested, and booked with disturbing the peace as well. So it seems that both people were charged with disturbing the peace. Nobody got any assault charges, so at least they were men about the thing, because you can only really get one of those if the other person decides to press them. So at least they were men about it. They handled their brawl, they did their business, and they let it be that. But what I wanted to point out, man, is the way that everybody in the background handled that situation was awesome, man. Like they started singing, and they just continued on with the vigil. And that's how you got to handle these situations, man, is just don't give it power. Don't give it power. The power of prayer and the power of unity will always triumph over the power of evil every time. We might not see the effects. We might not see it right now, but that does not mean that it's not triumphant. And so with that, I think that's all that I really had for today. Yep, that's all I got for today. I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here, guys. I will be back on Thursday as scheduled. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, we'll be live on here. I am going to start going live on Twitch a lot more, but I ain't going to lie, I just like YouTube better. You know what I'm saying? More of our people is on here. More conservative folks is on here. So I'm going to hop off of here. I'll be back on Thursday. And until then, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and stay strapped. Peace.